Hi, I'm Jim. Welcome back to my shop. This will be part 3 of my one-part series on installing my Vega utility fence here on my table saw. Today what we're going to do is look at installing an outfeed table. This is what I had before. Ugly enough for you? Okay. So I think I'm going to recycle this because it already has the slots in it. And as I may have mentioned before, I don't care about ugly. First thing I want to do, this little hole down on the up to the back of the fence, it does kind of tink this as you slide it by, minor thing, but I have some room here, enough to stick my finger in. So I'm going to move this closer so I don't need as much of a gap along the back here, because right now if I just try to put this there, you know, I'm hitting here and I got a pretty healthy gap. So minor thing, but something to start with. Okay, so I've got that measured and laid out. I can use a transfer punch. And what I'm going to do this time differently is I read the directions and it says use an 11/64 drill, so I'm going to do that. Crazy, right? So yeah, as it turns out, apparently that size drill I should have used in the first place for the other holes, but this is just going in just like you'd expect. Funny how that works. Okay, much better. So no clink when it goes by. It's missing all these. If I didn't know better, I'd swear I knew what I was doing. Okay, now to support the table out here, I've got these pieces from before, and they essentially attach to the screws that hold the extension tables to the main table. There's a flange and a set of screws, and they're pre-drilled, and I got about the right offset here from shoving it up underneath the table to supporting this, so I'm going to go with that. The other thing, I've got all these bolts along here. I'm thinking if I make a bracket, I'll have to measure, see if this is going to work. I guess I could put, think about that. So the thickness of my extension is 3/4. If I put that, you know, flush, then the bottom of it's right here, and I can't use these. I can't make a bracket because I'd have to bend right in the head. But if I glue another layer on the bottom, make it 1.5 inches thick, gets me here, and I can have a bracket come down and bend out and hold those. And I got some scrap metal. I think that's what I'll do. So I'll glue glue a second layer along here, maybe a couple inches wide. Means I'll have to adjust these things a bit, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, I have a plan. Okay, so I've cut these off, cleaned them up a bit, put a line where I need to bend, and job isn't done if you're not using a hammer, right? Yeah. 5 more of those and ready to start drilling. Okay, so I'm going to put these brackets. I cut them or bent them, drilled them off camera here. And I'm just going to replace one of these washers and snug things up for now, and then I can get in here with an open-end wrench and loosen things up and make any necessary tweaks. There we go. So I got a little bit of adjustment room there. If I can get this washer back here to line up. There we go. Okay, did you figure out what a moron I am before I did? Well, yeah. Right? That does not work. Well, no brains, no headaches. So we're back to plan A, I guess. Anybody need half a dozen brackets with a 7/16 and some or another size hole in them? I got them. Oh well, throw them in the scrap pile. Okay, so I take one of these existing brackets that I used to support the extension table before. I can just shove it up into place. There's 3 bolts along here that I can use to hold it, but I'll just set this in here for now. Okay, so I don't have a lot of room right here, and this is just about there. So actually that's probably enough, but that's only about 1/8. I think I'll get a little bit more room. And here I want at least 3/4 of an inch. I'm kind of inclined to make that gap 3/4 should be enough. Okay. So the extension will start here 3/4 of an inch, and I glued some a doubler on here so I could use it with the brackets that only a moron would have expected to work. So I have to notch for that too. Okay, I'll be back. So yeah, this bandsaw is too high. So I got them all screwed in a bunch. I'm going to try gang sawing, but so I was saying the bandsaw is too high. If you caught some of my earlier videos, the idea was to fit my air compressor underneath the bench that has all these tools on it, and that was a dumb idea. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so I got this sitting here, and if I push this, then that gets that level. Looks pretty good. I got the miter gauge in the slot there, so that's lined up that way. This is just sitting in place. This is where I've notched it. Then I'll screw it down into here. I got another one down there further, and this is just bolted here. So I think it looks pretty good. And I can just see some light under there, so it's just a fraction low, which I don't have a problem with. So that's my process. You know, I got 3 more of those to tighten up at the different joints between the sheet metal extensions and the cast iron table in the middle. There'll be 2 of those, and then 1 down at the far end between the sheet metal and the wooden extension, and I'll just use lag screws instead of bolts here. Then this gets screwed down. Not much else to record, I don't think. So, well, I'll bring you back when I'm done, see what it looks like. One last complication, right? All done. This is screwed down, you know. I'll show you what I did on the other end. But if you can see here, there's a couple of screws that mount this anti-lift bar. You know, they're hitting this. It's not going in. So I think what I'm going to do is just probably use a router to cut that like that, and we'll see. Got a chamfer bit in here. See what happens. Okay, I'm going to declare a success here. I'll cut the rest of it. You don't need to watch that, I suppose. Miter gauge lines up. Now let me bring you around to the end here. So in the end, I screwed this plate here underneath to support this far corner, since this is some distance in. It's not. There's some flex, but it's not bad. So with that, I think I'm done. I'll just run the router. Hope you found it at least entertaining. A chance to watch the bozo make mistakes, and hopefully you won't make the same dumb mistakes, right? You invent new ones. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the flip side.